You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 10th meeting for the LaPorte County Drainage Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Call the meeting to order of the March 10th LaPorte County Drainage Board. Stand, have a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mark Scarborough.
Present.
Chad Herchis.
Here.
Connie Grammarosa.
Present.
Jeff Mitzner.
Present.
Pat Vance. John Matwishin.
Present.
Got approval of the last month's business meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Schwartz Ditch, Louis Spear.
He hasn't put anything in yet. I thought he was going to be here. We haven't had it on for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
That's this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Giving you enough room.
No.
Okay, to start off with, I'd like to ask John, did the city ever come up with Jerry Cable? Any of that information that I requested?
Louis, just for the start of things, could you state your name and your address so we
Okay.
got the record going?
Louis Spear, 6434 South Third Line Road, LaPorte, Indiana.
Thanks.
They did not provide me with any information. Perhaps the secretary received some information from them.
Nothing whatsoever.
Wait, what are you asking for?
I was asking for the Cherry Cable, all of the entities that are putting water into the Schurz ditch that have never been assessed is benefited.
Apparently I didn't know that you asked for that, so.
Well, that was, the first meeting. I sent in a letter asking for all the plan specifications for all the entities, and I spelled all of them out, from Walmart to Halmet to, obviously they turned nothing over. That answers my question. And first of all, I'd like to take the time to go through some of this. I didn't specifically do it for this drainage board. I put this together because obviously it's going to end up in court with a judicial review and or damages. This is what I put together for. I hope you will listen, to what I have to say.
Okay, Louis, before you go through all this, we as a board have already determined that there's an issue, and we are working on the issue. Okay? We're not telling you we're not doing anything. We're working on the issue. I don't want to spend an hour today going over what we already know. We know there's an issue. So we had Elmer go out there and look at the 2 sinkholes that we have on your tile. He's going to give us a bid on those so that we can get those fixed. I've been in contact with Scott Pilaf on trying to get a hold of somebody from the DNR, from the state, to be able to see if we can dig through the wetlands to be able to try to get the ditch better from where your tile jumps out to where I guess I'm gonna say the outlet of your tile off of your farm to the inlet of the tile that goes underneath the railroad. So we've already identified all these things with this situation. So I don't know what we need to go back through to try to figure this out.
Well, number one, you're missing the elephant in the room. All of the water that the city has put on us. This is a 110-year-old farm drainage system.
We understand that, and we know that there's water coming from the city.
Are you going to call for its reconstruction?
We're working with the city right now to try to figure this out. Louis,
There's nothing to figure out.
we got to figure out how the water's going to get down an 18-inch tile. That's what we got to figure out.
Well, it's not going to. That's why I'm here.
We understand that. So what did I just say? We're going to try to figure out what we need to do because
Then it needs to be reconstructed, period.
Are you going to come up with $1 million? We got to figure out
Well,
what the
why
city.
don't you listen to me with what I have to say? Because the law states it's not your decision, it's not my decision. Your decision is to decide whether it needs to be reconstructed.
And we're working with the city right now to try to figure that out. We're trying to figure out if we need to reconstruct the whole thing or what we need to do.
Okay, the last time you were wondering about how do you pay for it, go to the second page. We will now reclarify the assessed for maintenance terminology. If the Drainage Board was never requested nor approved, giving in writing for the last 110 years since the LaPorte Circuit Court's acceptance of the Sure's petitions, they're signed by 9 members, 9 farmers. There are 536 assessed for maintenance. The ones assessed for maintenance were never allowed to put their water into that ditch.
Well, if they're getting assessed for maintenance, why can't they put their water in that ditch? If they're being assessed for the maintenance, why is it they can't put their water in that ditch?
Why don't you ask Brad?
Brad?
But do we know? they're
What
really
is
putting it in?
the law? I have it right here. I have case studies right here, if you want me to bring them up to you.
No, that's fine. We were just provided this today, so I'm not going to offer an opinion on it on the fly for risk of not being accurate. So your point being that when this was established 9 years ago, it was 9 petitioners that set it up. 9 petitioners that probably own the majority of the farmland out there, obviously. That's how a ditch gets established. Yes, circumstances have changed 110 years later. It doesn't mean the people being assessed for it aren't properly assessed. Is that what you're trying to assert? Or are you saying that they should be putting water into the ditch at all?
Can you give a yes or no? If it has not been assessed as
Louis,
benefited?
I'm not going to answer a definitive
Okay.
statement on information I was just provided right now.
But you're talking about,
Are you asking us if these people have never been assessed? So,
not assessed as benefited. Then prove it. If they have been, prove it to me. Show me where Walmart was assessed as, as benefited.
well, Walmart probably was assessed just like everybody else was with the taxes, right?
This is a list of
So they were.
all the properties that are part of the watershed that are
But,
assessed. It's been
okay, so when is the last time that anybody on this ditch was assessed? It could, because it's capped. It's capped at $35,000. We can't assess anybody when we haven't spent any money at that ditch. There's $35,000 in the account.
Jeff, I want to show you something. This is a map that shows the assessed land in 1916. The assessed land is only the low ground on that.
Can you tell us what exhibit you're looking at? Seems like you've marked some of them. Can you just guide us through what, because you just handed us these packets, so we're
Well,
trying to.
I was going to go from the start to the finish,
Okay, so what packet?
but
are
I'm
you-
not allowed to do that, again.
I'm not telling you you're not allowed to do that. We've been over this. We know that there's an issue.
Well, if you don't know the law, then don't tell me or ask questions.
Hey.
If you won't listen,
Hey, I'm not putting up with it. So here's the deal. We know that there's an issue. We are trying to take
then
care of
vote on it.
We're not going to vote on anything because we have to do studies yet to try to figure out what's going on. And we have to work with the city to figure out how we're going to come up with the money. That's what I'm telling you.
The people that benefit from the drainage, which is Walmart and every one of those 500 plus north of the tracks, all of them will pay. And it's not up to you or the city how it's done. It's done by determining that this drain is in need of reconstruction. The judge will decide.
Does that,
So can
how
we
far,
take-
how far north does that assessment go?
This is the watershed. right
What's a
here.
watershed?
It's all the properties that drain into that.
So everybody there is assessed.
So everybody here in this watershed has been assessed for this.
Yeah,
Assessed
this is the list of them right
for
here.
maintenance, not assessed as benefited.
They don't have to ask for money. Do they have to ask to put, do we have to ask them?
I think this should move to an executive session where you can study all these paperworks and then have an executive session where all the board members can kind of go through.
And give it the
exactly-
attention and detail that Mr. Spears requested.
So you can make that a motion. Connie?
Given, I'd like to say, given the fact that the majority of us did go out there last week, Thursday, and we kind of looked at all the ditches, we're being provided this paperwork. We know that John, South, the department head, has the names and who is giving, or who is assessed on that property. Our attorney, Mr. Adamski, has just been given a whole slew of paperwork, and I know that, Louis, you really do want some answers, and you want us.
I want
with-
relief.
You want us with a definite, you want us to vote on something, but unfortunately, given that John South may have some information, now you've provided us with new information. I do know that Jeff is working on a plan. I would ask that our attorney get at least 72 hours to review the new documentation, work with the department head, try to gather all the information, and then maybe have an executive session with just the board so that we can try to work something out or have a better understanding of exactly what we're doing, and then come back and table it to the next meeting so that we can have an executive session and give our attorney some
I have
the ability
three,
to look through all this paperwork.
three
That's my
three
motion.
paragraphs that I want to,
I got a motion on the floor. And Connie, can you,
thus, although
can you
an owner
include-
is entitled to
Louis.
to natural drainage of
Louis,
his surface waters.
highlight those paragraphs to me after they get done with their
Pardon?
motion. If you can highlight those paragraphs to me after they're done with their motion, then we'll address it, okay?
and I like to
I'm
take,
going to read it to this board.
if you have
I'm
it
here
in
to
this
read
packet.
3 paragraphs to this board after waiting 70 years of damage. Is that asking too much, Jeff?
Did you give it to us in this packet?
I want to read this. It's in this packet, but you will not allow me to read
I
it.
have a motion on the floor right now, and I have to recognize the motion. So I have a motion on the floor, and I'd like to include that the city of LaPorte is included in that motion. Connie, can we add that, please?
So we'll be meeting with the different entities, which would open it up to whatever entities we need to, for an executive session. And that would be my motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
I'm still going to read these 3 paragraphs. Thus, although an owner is entitled to natural drainage of his surface waters, he may not collect and discharge such water upon his lower neighbors in volume. Weednora, Mace, 1916. B, where water is or has become a part of a natural water course, an owner may not divert the channel and cast the water upon his neighbor without liability. Another case law. C, we have also long accepted that an owner who creates an artificial impoundment of water on his land that will be liable to his neighbor if he permits it to escape and the neighbor is hereby injured. Another case. This is in Stark County. This is law. Nobody in the city of LaPorte has adhered to any drainage laws in the last 70 years. And every drainage board previous to this, including every surveyor, has not done their job. And it's obvious you're not going to either.
Okay, thank you.
Louis, I would just like to say thank you for bringing in the paperwork and trust the fact that we are gonna go through this, our attorney is gonna look through it, and hopefully we can come up with some kind of resolution.
Damages are going on to this day.
Okay, so in the situation, we went out there, we found 2 sinkholes on the Sure ditch in the tile. We had, Elmer went out and looked at it. He has not submitted a bid to us yet for what it's gonna cost. But can we do it as an email that he sends to us so we get this done as an emergency, Brad?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask for a motion that when Elmer gets us that bid, John sends it out to us, and we vote on it as a email so that we can get the 2 sinkholes fixed on Louis Spears's ground so that we can start showing that we are doing something out there to help him.
You don't need a motion for that effect. You just need to let the board know to look for that email.
Okay, everybody clear on that?
Yes.
Ridge Run Sinkhole Repair, Vero Services.
Yeah, I thought Elmer was gonna be here today to talk about this, but I'll just briefly go over what he told me. He went out there to repair the sinkhole. He found out that the tile was in great shape, so he didn't need to repair it. He did find that some of the slip joints weren't sealed, so he went ahead and sealed those up with concrete. He buried it. His bill is $12,936.79. We don't have that much in that account, so we'd have to borrow from the GDIF to cover it. And that would be about $8,700 that we need to borrow.
Okay, so we can have a motion to that effect, to pay that bill and to borrow that money.
Motion to approve.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Drain crossing application, Travis Ditch, Dewberry. Morning. You state your name and where you're from.
Pat Hill with Dewberry Engineers. We're out of Richmond, Virginia, 4805 Lakebrook Drive. And do you all have the digital plans
We have some of them.
available? Okay.
We printed out this. This is, Jerry Jackson sent this to us from LaPorte.
Oh, okay.
He just highlighted the basins. You had, I think, 7 basins that were gonna be along the Travis, correct?
That's right. Yeah, I can give a quick overview. Yes, that's right. The proposed plans we have in with the city of LaPorte are for mass grading plans at the property address 360 East Boyd Boulevard.
Can you
And-
speak up just a little bit?
Oh, yep. Yeah, so we have, the plans we have in with the city of LaPorte are mass grading plans at the property address 360 East Boyd Boulevard. The proposed plans include mass grading and for pad development across approximately 438 acres of land disturbance. The proposed improvements also include, in addition to temporary sediment traps, sediment basins for erosion and sediment control during construction, the plans also include permanent stormwater management basins, wet ponds, the ponds along the east side of the property that John mentioned, and those are sized for two conditions. So the proposed plans would be, ultimately resulting in primarily grass restoration, grass cover across the property after mass grading is complete, some gravel laydown yards established, but so the ponds are sized for that interim condition. After the mass grading is complete, manage stormwater from those conditions, as well as potential ultimate conditions that we've analyzed to set them up for future development.
So the ponds that are going to be permanent, are those considered a retention or detention?
They're wet ponds, so they have a detention permanent pool. The bottom 3 feet or so of the ponds will retain water. It'll hold it for a longer, it'll be a permanent pool, and that'll provide water quality treatment, as well as, encouraging water to where possible to infiltrate into the soils, to reduce the volumes leaving, but also they will have a storage above that permanent pool will provide peak flow mitigations through an outlet control structure that is designed in accordance with the LaPorte stormwater technical standards.
Okay, so these retention ponds they're not going to dump directly into the. You picked a very bad meeting to come to try to discuss this, just so you know. You're not going to directly dump the water into the Travis ditch, correct?
That's correct, yes.
So there's two 7-inch pipes coming out of that for overflow, plus an 18 then will come over for 100-year flood?
It varies between the ponds, but on that order, yes.
And are the ponds connected?
Some of the ponds are interconnected to each other in order to take advantage of the larger storage volumes and, different timing of inflows. They're sized based on max drainage area specifications, from the governing stormwater manuals.
I'm going to ask this because nobody seems to be able to answer this question. So you're going to dump water from 2 7-inch drains onto the grass, and then it's going to run. So you're trying to get to percolate first before it gets to the Travis ditch? Is that what we're trying to do?
No. So there will be outlet. There's outlet culverts that would drain towards the ditch. They would be controlled by orifice.
So they will go to the ditch.
They would drain to the ditch, but they're not directly connected.
That's what I'm saying. So there's like 300 feet in between the ditch. Jerry, if you want to come up here and help me out with this, because I talked to Jerry yesterday about this. So I just want everybody to. The rest of the board doesn't know what I know, so I'm trying to fill them in here a little bit.
We're happy to talk through it, yeah.
So you got 300 feet between the pond and the Travis ditch. So what you're trying to do is let that water out slowly into your property, but eventually if say we get a 3-inch rain, you're trying to get that water to percolate in your own property, but if we get a 3-inch rain, it's going to go to this Travis ditch anyway.
Right. And they're designed, yes, with that conservatively, with that assumption that, there's going to be outflow needed. So the idea is using, the ponds are sized with enough volume to hold those storms for a certain time, slowly release the water. So it's dropping the outflow rates down below, the per acre.
So what is the outflow rate out of 1 7-inch if it runs full?
I don't have that top of mind. The 7-inch.
Well, it's because a 2 7-inch runs out of each basin, right?
They're larger than that, yeah. So the outlet structures will vary. I think generally they're about 18-inch diameter outflow culverts, but the orifice
So when you say orifice, are these 7-inch pipes actually orifice?
The orifice, yes. Yes, yeah, the property owner would manage the ponds. Yeah, so it's,
the
I
orifices
see what you're saying. The 7-inch orifice would control the flow, so.
So it's just a 7-inch pipe?
So on that, it's basically like a inlet, concrete inlet structure, if you picture that, and then on the face of it, there's the 7-inch, cord orifice that's what's letting flow out. And then on the downstream side, there's the larger culvert, 18-inch or so culvert for the larger storms, They drain through the top of the structure and out. So that for the normal, worst storm, 1-year storm that we work with, the worst storm you'd see in a year, likely, that would be draining through that smaller, low flow orifice, that smaller diameter would hold the water back in the pond and it will only be letting that out. And then if you get a 100-year storm, it's going to rise up and that's when it's actually going to use the larger, outflow pipe.
This is going in a concrete structure?
Yes. I'm trying to flip to, we have a section with those outlet control structures for each of the ponds.
Picture a manhole with 2 orifices going out of it, that normal flow goes through those, and then if the level gets up above the 100-year, it comes over the top.
And then it dumps in.
down and out.
I can share a picture with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, each of the ponds, we've got a section cut. You can see, there's that. Permanent pool down at the bottom. As water fills up, it'll hit these smaller orifices. You can see those behind the screen. Those are the trash rack just to keep
Okay,
debris from clogging it up. That would let a small amount of stormwater in, as the pooled water fills up to this range in a 1-year storm. That lets a small amount of water out through the structure. It's only once you get to a 100-year storm that water's coming in the top of the inlet, and it's going to really use the whole outlet capacity of those larger culverts. And to the question on the outlet scheme is basically, yes, we're showing no impacts to the stream or the buffer around.
I'm just gonna have you just, as you're up here talking.
So,
It doesn't amplify, it just records. So.
okay, yeah, and so, so the proposed design is not impacting the ditch or the 75-foot buffer around the ditch. So what we've included is downstream of that outlet culvert, if you can see here. Downstream of that, so the outlet control structure we were looking at is right here. So water, those low flow orifices are right at the base here, right? So water's pooling up. It's gonna be controlled flow out through that structure. This is the larger outfall culvert. And then we've designed, a riprap plunge, basically a plunge pool. So water coming out and come down, hit that riprap, slow down to take the velocity out, and then a level spreader to kind of put it back to more of a unconcentrated flow between the ditch buffer and the ditch itself. But that would all be on the property.
How wide is the level spreader?
They vary. I think in general, they're probably about, I would want to check, but I think on the order of, 30 feet is the typical.
So it spreads it out to a sheet flow.
Come with the mic,
To the
Jerry.
mic.
Sorry, so it spreads it out to a sheet flow before it discharges. Got it.
Any questions?
How much water do you figure is gonna hit the Travis ditch?
Yeah, so we have it summarized. I'm sorry. We have that summarized on the. There's a drainage summary table for each pond in the plan set. We can kind of pull that out and highlight it, but they're all sized based on the LaPorte stormwater standards. So I think it's a tenth of a CFS tenth of a cubic foot per second flow per developed acre for the 10-year storm and 0.3 CFS per developed acre for the 100-year storm is in the standard. So we're showing those flows being reduced below those thresholds, the allowable flows in the manual. If I have that right, Jerry.
Are there any plans to maybe shape the Travis ditch up before we take all this water on? Because I know it's pretty hairy when you get down, when you go through I've talked to different excavators who said that there's quite a few trees and stuff that are in the Travis ditch. I'm just kind of wondering, is there something that we're gonna be preventive on this, or we
So-
gonna wait until the water gets all backed up?
So to answer his question, and I told Jerry and Tom this yesterday, we really need to look at this Travis ditch because, you know, this is not gonna be the only project that's gonna dump into that ditch. We already know that. You know, and I think everybody sitting in this room probably already knows that. So we do not want to run into a situation like we have right now with Walmart and Helmet and all that. So we want to make sure we do our work that, you know, and I'm just going to say this, 20 years ago, 25 years ago when Walmart went in there, nobody worried about this stuff as much as we're worrying about it now. But this board is going to worry about it because I don't want somebody coming back in a few years and say, well, you guys didn't do your job. Well, we're going to do our job to make sure we do this right. So one thing on that comment, Chad, I'd like to make sure that the board and Jerry maybe, and maybe if Mayor Dermody wants to come with us, I see he's in the crowd there now, so go out and look at the Travis ditch so that we see where the water flow is going to go. I pulled it up last night on Beacon, followed it all the way up, and I'm like, wow, we're going through a lot of woods. Looks like there's a lot of trees on that ditch and everything else. So, and it is a court drain ditch, but there's no assessment on it. So there's no money there. So we're gonna have to try to figure out how we're gonna get this taken care of, you know, so that we don't have an issue somewhere.
I know the ditch looks in generally good condition right up by the wastewater plant, except for tree falls. There's plenty of tree falls.
Yeah, well, the problem is the downstream. That's where we gotta worry about, you know, we're gonna,
I'm sure.
yeah, so.
Especially there's very minimal flows up on the north end. The flows are much, much larger on the south end, so, yeah.
And I would just add that designing to those outflow, the allowable discharge rates in the standards is a reduction in the flow compared to the existing conditions. So, you know, those peak flows would be, after going through the ponds and you know, being.
You guys are actually slowing
managed,
down.
There'll be, the peak flows would be reduced.
So,
After development.
It's not reduced more than what the agriculture field is allowing right now, though, correct?
It would be reduced below that, yes. At a peak flow level, yeah.
so your retention ponds or detention ponds are gonna be big enough to hold, let's just say we get a 2-inch rain, they're gonna be able to hold all that from your parking lots, roofs, whatever, and then it's gonna just slowly release it, or?
That's correct, yeah. So yeah, like when the design storms, the peak, you know, that peak rainfall is, you know, whatever it is, 4 hours or something, 4 to 6 hours where it's at its peak. And the ponds are large enough to hold that water temporarily and release it at a slower rate. So they're reducing that peak outflow instead of just running out of storm sewer right to the ditch at that, you know, increased rate. It's gonna drain into the ponds that holds the water there, and then the outlet control structure allows it to be slowed, you know, the flow to be slowed down until that rain event, you know, starts to lighten up.
So what is it you guys are asking for us today?
So, I mean, we are looking for, and Jerry, I don't know if you want to speak to that in particular, but I think,
I'm not sure the correct language. We're looking for approval to discharge to Travis Ditch for this project. I don't know if that's the correct language. The drainage board is in control of Travis Ditch, and so that we thought it was appropriate to come and let the drainage board know what's going on and ask permissions.
Tom Dermody, Mayor LaPorte, great to see you and spend time with you two yesterday and the rest of the board. The goal is, and again, you and I had the conversation, we're not sure if we need approval or advisement, but either way, we want to be good actors. We want your approval or work together with you. We just want to make sure that the ground movement and so forth can be done, or to update you that we'll be removing topsoil and so forth. I know this water situation is a ways down the pike, so it gives us a chance at your convenience or sooner than later to go down, see exactly what you want while they begin their process with the topsoil.
So again, since we're having
Is that fair? I mean, we want to be, I know Microsoft wants to be a good actor, and wastewater,
The executive session can't have the vote.
What, they gotta drain our ditch, so we have, no matter how you look at this, you have to go and come into our ditch. So, you know, whether you're slowing the water down, you're telling us, you know, but you're still running water into our ditch, and it's gonna change, I wanna say, change the aspect of how the water gets to the ditch. I'm not telling you you're wrong, I'm not telling you you're right, but one thing we gotta look at is how this is gonna affect the area, so that we don't run into a situation where we're at right now with somewhere else. So we wanna make sure that we're doing this right. I think you need to give us some time to look at this Travis ditch, because that's where the water's gotta go. And like I said, I know that there's probably gonna be at least one more project or two more projects that's gonna dump in that ditch. So we need to make sure that we have our ducks in a row, I guess, is the terminology I
but
wanna
are
use.
you, and I know they just have, they want to be good partners, but are you comfortable with them removing topsoil? Because I think that's the first step, correct, that you want to do? Grading.
Yeah, and that's what I was just gonna mention, the initial, what
Come
we-
to the mic, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the plans that we have in with the city are mass grading plans. So that's what's, all that is proposed at the moment is, clearing topsoil and then the mass grading, the earth movement, and then, restabilizing mostly with grass and then with gravel in some areas. So that's what we're looking for, is the concurrence needed for the city's approval on that mass grading permit.
Okay, so to do the stuff that you guys want to do, you don't really need our approval for that, but we want to make sure that we're discussing this and we're looking at this to make sure that, you guys can, I'm going to say this, and Brad, tell me if I'm wrong, but they can start work, but it's going to have to be under our, when they get ready to start dumping water in, that we approve this the way this is going to be, correct?
Correct. Yeah, what you're asking to do right now as far as the leveling and the grade condition, that wouldn't necessarily fall under their jurisdiction, but once the ditch becomes involved. And that, I think what Jeff's saying and what the board's saying, they appreciate that you're coming forward and keeping us part of that conversation, especially at this beginning stage of it. But also what the board's saying is they want to take a close look at that ditch and make sure that as this project goes along, that we're not creating another situation that we dealt with at the beginning of this meeting.
Are you comfortable, like, I know you're all busy, but maybe all of us getting out there next week?
Yes.
You weren't here at the
weren't
beginning,
Okay.
but we're setting an executive session to deal with the other ditch, so I would recommend to the board that we put both of those subjects on the exec session, and then prior to that meeting or whatever, have
do a walkthrough.
You mean like next week?
soon.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we got inundated with a lot of paperwork today. And so just before you came in, what I had asked the board was for an executive session to allow our attorney the opportunity to go through all the paperwork, see what some of the residents are providing us with, and the documentation that we currently have in our office kind of matches, and then come up with a solution of how we're gonna fix it. And I think that we need to clarify one thing. When water falls, that's an act of nature, and it's really not anything that any company has control over. And so if someone weren't moving the ground, we would still be taking in that water. And so we have to, because I heard some mention of like, when water falls on the roofs and then it comes into ours, that water, we're gonna take in that water regardless of whoever's there. And so I think it's just, we just all need to kind of like look at the paperwork that we're receiving today, match it up with the paperwork we have our attorney have the opportunity, and I had asked for 72 hours for him to have the ability to look through it. We can plan the executive session after we do the walkthrough, and then this way we can go out and walk on the property. But what you're asking for right now as far as moving topsoil and that has to do with the city. That is not within our jurisdiction. So whatever you normally would get done with the city and the city permits you to do, that's fine. We're here just to worry about the water, and I think that we can get that accomplished by our next meeting.
But I want to make sure that none of you have any issues with just grading. I understand about the permit, but obviously we want a good partnership. So if there are issues,
I don't see that there's an issue, anybody having, you guys can go out and do your grading, but I just want to make sure that we're understood that before we get these, you guys can start your project. You're going to be a year out anyway. You're going to be dumping some more water in there anyway. I mean, but you're a year out from getting this done. But I just want to make sure that everybody's square on what we're talking about, that you need to come back to us before we make the final plan on what we're doing, and how we're getting the water to the ditch and what we're doing there, so that we have time to look at it.
we can be relentless. So we look forward to partnering up again.
And my concern is if there's maintenance downstream, I mean, that funding's gonna have to come from somewhere. So whether, I mean, the city, the county, I mean, like you said, it's not an assessed ditch, right?
Right.
So
It's a
there is
court.
no money there, but it's court drain, so, I mean, if
And-
that becomes an issue, that's what.
And we might be leaning on Microsoft to help fund that, you know, because there is no money there, and we're gonna have to, I already know we're gonna have to do some maintenance. I mean, I haven't even looked at it yet, and I'm sure there ain't been nothing done there for 40 years, 50
Well,
years.
And
100.
I think Microsoft has already shown they're a great partner, but it's also not a free pass, you know, of writing just checks everywhere. But I think there's a good balance that we can solve this. And our only ask is, if we start the grading, let's get out there next week. We value what you have to say, and let's see what you need so we can plan. And we don't want to hold up the process.
Yeah, and that's what I was just gonna add is, yeah, just I think, you know, the goal for this package is really just getting the earth moving started, and the challenge with the improvements in the ditch, if I'm understanding correctly, is that that it's protected by the it's protected by zoning ordinances and buffers, so working in the ditch, just adds another layer of permitting and approval.
Are you guys gonna be doing any work in our easement on the ditch?
No, this plan set doesn't propose any work within the ditch or the buffers.
Okay. We asked if you are gonna do something, come talk to us before you do anything there.
Are we sure we won't?
Yeah, based on these plans, that's. Yes.
I'll have some conversation with the contractor. They're out there gonna do some tree removal here real quickly, so I'll make sure they're not in the 75-foot, removing any trees.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, I guess,
Just get a hold on.
you know what, why don't you guys, as long as you're not gonna do anything in the ditch right now, why don't we give them a hold harmless so that if they go on the easement to remove some trees off of there, that we're covered?
Thank you.
Can you guys do that? Can we do that for them?
Yep.
So let's get with John and whoever the contractor is, get a hold harmless agreement, and get that taken care of. So if you happen to get into our easement, we're covered on that.
Do we know how to get a hold of you, John?
Yeah, and I can send it to Pat if you want. You want to send it to you? Would that be fine?
That works for me.
Okay, I'll send you.
And the contractor hasn't been selected, but should be imminent.
That's correct.
So.
That
so
should be by motion to give them access to the easement,
But
subject
does
to
that
a
have to
hold
be,
harmless.
does that have to be them, or does that have to be the contractor sign that?
All parties obviously should sign the hold harmless, but, I mean, you're giving them permission and their agents.
I think we
Jeez.
can pass it on to the.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Anything else, Mr.
Thank
Dermody?
you all. Connie, thanks for being proactive. I appreciate it, and thanks to the board.
And
We'll see you next week.
We'll get with you next week sometime.
Real good. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Do you need these plans?
Oh, sure. Yeah, these are digitally as well. So.
Thank you.
So it's not
How many of these are we keeping these?
Those for John's,
Those
Kevin.
are John's
Those are
copies.
John's.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
John, hey Connie, those two maps, I'll stop and pick them up. You can keep them for a week or two.
Okay.
I'll stop in the office.
Could get some.
Real good. Thank you.
Jerry and Devin, are you guys staying until the end of the meeting?
If you need it, if you wanna talk.
Yeah. Next is O'Hara Rice Ditch Mowing Project number 2, the rebids.
We only received one rebid.
Did we ever send a letter out there for them that they need to remove their fence? Did we ever do that? Brad?
Oh, was that a few months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we ever hear anything from them?
No.
Did you send that certified or was it just regular mail?
We would have sent it certified and regular. I'd have to check because it's been a number of months, but John gave that information for the property owner. So yeah, I mean, I'd imagine we received the certified back. We didn't receive the regular mail back undelivered, so.
Okay. So we got one from Al Alsap, mow ditch per respects provided for O'Hara Ditch, rebid, 19,000. We already got some stuff in that account. How much money we got left there?
Well, when you factor in the other projects that are coming up, 3 of those are bank sprains, so we don't have to worry about that money until July. But it's gonna be close. The 19 plus, we'll get an assessment in the spring that should make up some more money, so we should be enough to cover it.
Too much to do that quarter mile. Yeah. And you rebid that as a west side, right?
Yes.
Because we gotta get the fence moved. The fence has gotta be moved.
I say we table this bid until we, make sure we get the fence moved.
Or we're not accepting this bid, though.
We're not gonna accept the bid this time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Ridge Run Surf Internet.
All right. I talked to Rachel over at Surf Internet, and I asked her to add that the conduit will be a minimum of depth of 25 feet, and they've added it to the application. I think John's been in contact with them as well.
Yes, I was asked, I believe 60 days ago now, to get in touch with them. I did, spoke to the people that actually are going to get their hands dirty doing the horizontal drilling. And they said they're about a month away from starting on the Ridge Run, and that they will get in touch with me when they're a week away from starting working on Ridge Run, so that I can be there while they're doing the horizontal drilling.
Okay.
They were good with going that deep.
Yeah, they were good with going that deep, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do we need a motion on that? Probably.
Yeah.
Need a motion on that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Drain crossing application, Zale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been in touch with the project manager for ZAO. They sent me the diagram indicating that the route they took and the depth that the conduit was placed at. I have another meeting scheduled with them to go over the details of how exactly to determine how far down they are, because it's conduit underground. We have the elevation, but I have to have some mechanism of verifying that the conduit is actually where they put it.
So how deep did they tell you they put it?
They give me an elevation. They don't give me the elevation of the ground. They give me the elevation of the duct, the horizontal duct that they put in. So that's what I need to determine, is to go out there and verify that it is, they said 4 feet, but we need to verify that.
4 feet below the ditch or 4 feet below the top of the grade?
4 feet below the surface and below the ditch,
That's
but
what
we need to
respect says, right?
verify.
48 inches.
Below the ditch, yeah, bottom of the ditch.
We need to verify that that's exactly what was done, and I need to go through and verify the exact elevation at each point along the many-mile route, including the place where it crosses the ditch.
So do we have to have a surveyor survey that elevation, or is that?
That's available information.
Okay.
Well, that's not gonna be at our cost to be able to figure out where that's at. They came and did that without a permit and didn't ask anybody. So that's gonna be their bill, and they need to
Okay.
prove that to us, and you need to tell them that. We're not
Okay.
paying for that.
And I've scheduled a meeting with them coming up. They haven't responded yet, but I can bring that up and include,
They're gonna have to verify that somehow, that we know that they're 48
Okay.
inches below, because I don't wanna hit that when I
And the
dig.
surface. You need to verify what the surface is and that you're going the 4 feet below.
4 feet below the bottom of the ditch. Just,
He's saying surface.
well,
well, the surface everywhere, and I'm assuming that what they're telling us is accurate, and we need to verify that what they're telling us is accurate. And if it's at their cost, then, that's something we'll have to negotiate and let them know. Number one, let them know that it's at their cost.
so when you're saying the surface, you're saying where they went along the road? Is that what you're talking about?
It's basically the machine gave them a reading of elevation above sea level. They don't have any indication of what the elevation of the ground or the bottom of the ditch is at any point. It's just how the depth of their conduit. That's what their plans provided me. And the two need to be correlated.
You need to know what the elevation of the ditch is.
And it
Yeah.
should be 4 feet below the bottom.
So
of the
they're giving you,
ditch,
so they're
he
giving you,
understands.
so we don't care what the elevation of the ground was. We want to make sure that they're 48 inches
Below the ditch.
below the bottom of the ditch.
Yeah.
So and I know there's culverts right where we're at. So at the bottom of the culvert, more than likely, that's the bottom of the ditch.
Right.
We need to be 4 feet below that.
And they provided me with the elevation above sea level at every point, including the points where it crosses the ditch.
It states it right there.
And they claim that it's 4 feet below the level that the surface of the ground and 4 feet below the bottom of the ditch. And that's what needs to be verified and apparently at their expense.
Yes, this is their expense. They did not get a permit from us, so this is their expense.
Okay?
And we need to know every point where they cross the Eckert ditch or any other court drain ditch, but I think they only ever cross the Eckert, right? No, they cross the
There's
Goes to
11
Monon too.
There's 11 crossings.
It's not only Eckert,
It starts in
Right there.
Stark County and goes up to the city of LaPorte.
Dice, Pinter, Tewksburg, Slocum, Rosenbaum, Hannah, Harmon, Tewksburg. There's 11 of them, 11 crossings.
okay,
Total.
so as long as you're with him on that same page, we need to push them a little bit to make sure this is done right.
All right?
They had to cross the Kankakee at one point too, right?
Yes.
They get permission for that?
I don't know, I haven't been listening.
Well, what are you here for then today? Get with me after the meeting and we probably ought to find out on that if they had to cross the Kankakee somewhere, so I'll discuss that with you after the meeting. Okay, so we're gonna leave that open-ended right now. We'll just table that. Drain crossing application, cable and
You have to
drain.
do a motion in a second. You have
Yeah.
to vote on
We
it
get-
to table it.
Oh, sorry.
I
Get
make
a
a
motion.
We table it.
Second.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Drain crossing, cable and drain, Cowason? Sorry.
That's all right.
How you doing? Timothy Kwasin, 120 Judson Road, LaPorte.
Okay, so this is the one, is this the one where you want to build the garage?
Yeah, I lost the garage to a fire, looking to rebuild. I called Tony Hendricks to do a dig. He said he wouldn't dig it because it was 42 feet down and not on my property. He said the beacon map is wrong. I printed, can I approach?
Yep. 42. So hold on, so we can go through this once, is this, McDermott, aren't you a neighbor that you wanted?
We're directly in front, we're looking to,
Let's just do this once.
okay.
So come up and state your name and then,
Emily McDermott, Seamus McDermott.
okay, go ahead.
Go up, oh,
Well, he's gonna
just
show
to
us
that
it.
podium and then,
So USGS surveyed this pipeline located in 2016. Location, there's my house. I have a neighbor here that's also next to me. He built that garage in 16. Yeah, just trying to get permission.
So he built the garage over, is this the drain right here?
Correct.
So the garage is over the drain?
Where is this at?
Our house has been for 100+ years.
Where are you at?
120 West of Road.
no, but we still for the recording.
Okay.
Judson Road?
Yeah, this is.
So if
where-
you got that,
this
you
is
wanna
where
come up,
Beacon
you can
shows.
approach.
I have the drain line. Discrepancy in terms and conditions that we make you agree to, saying this drain is inadequate.
Not in Michigan City.
This is our home here.
Michigan City.
You can see we're,
So,
You have to talk into the mic.
you can see we're further away.
so he's here,
He's here,
you guys are here?
we're here. We're looking to expand our house away from the drain here. We cannot meet with our designer to do any plans until this is approved because the county will not give us our setbacks. And the designer won't meet with us until we get our setbacks.
So wait, you
So
want,
that's two different issues.
it's two different issues, but it's on the same drain, that's why I brought him up.
Yeah,
Okay.
but ours is further away and we're not looking to expand anywhere over towards the drain.
Okay,
And
yours is,
to clarify, when you say you're waiting for the county to get your setbacks, are you asking for a variance?
No, we're not asking for a variance at all. Our contractor contacted just to confirm that it's 10 feet.
Okay.
The county told us we can't, she won't even tell us 10 feet until this is approved, and then so we can't meet with our designer to even make
okay,
any
they called
progress.
me on this, and I said that they'd have to come in front of us because they're close to that, so that we know that they're gonna be away from that. So yours is a less of an issue, I think, than
Yes,
what his is.
Yes, because we don't own, this is Pine Lake Assembly land. We will not be building on this or touching it or getting close to it. We're only expanding to this side where the existing structure is.
Okay, so well, let's hold off on you now, let's finish him first.
Okay,
I thought you
all
guys
right.
were trying to do the same thing, that's why I brought
Little
you both up.
different,
It's
close, but a little different.
different thing, so,
So this
Thank
pipe
you.
is
Sorry
42
about
foot
that.
deep, you're saying?
That's, yeah, that's what
And
Tony
do you know the
said.
size of it?
It's 48 inches.
48 inches.
You're gonna have to speak into a mic, I'm sorry.
48 inches, yes.
so,
No, wow.
You're looking to go over top of it? Right on top of it?
No, the USGS has this thing surveyed and located. It's underneath my neighbor's garage currently. The small garage right here, that's where they lost the fire. It's roughly 22.8 feet away from
You're looking to build back at the same
it.
spot?
Build back to the same spot.
So-
Give you the proposed.
so you want to build in the same spot, or you
That's
wanna
different, I
change your
think, than what
footprint?
he's showing,
I
because
am
he's showing
changing
like
the
a.
footprint. There's the proposed.
I think this is probably the most accurate, because you can see where the drain comes out here.
Yeah, I mean, I was there,
The house was built in 1900.
he's gonna be larger this way, but he's not, here's the drain. He's not
Also
gonna-
doing a monolithic slab.
And this
Going
burned
down
down.
14 inches deep.
Huh?
And this burned down.
No, this burned down, this burned down, this is the drain. And this is actually his neighbor's, so.
Beacon has
He's
it way
22
off.
foot, he's, you said 22 foot.
22 feet.
If we ever gotta dig that one up, there won't be enough money to do it anyway, so.
Roughly 22 feet away.
After reviewing the photos, I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess it's your turn now. Sorry about that. I thought you guys were asking for the same thing in the same area. You really are, but you're going the opposite way, correct?
Correct, yeah. So,
Go ahead and approach.
So like I said, this is our home here. Our home was built the same year as the drainage pipe, 1924. We are looking to expand here, maybe a little forward, but again, we don't have exact plans because we need to meet with a designer to tell us what to do. But we will not be approaching the drain at all. And it's pretty far away from like where we're at.
So the home is here, and they're gonna expand that way.
So is that north? Are you going north? Which way are you going from your house?
Like towards the road here.
Well, which way you expanding? You're going this way. What
What
direction is that?
direction?
What direction is that?
Yeah, the direction.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what direction?
Northeast.
Northeast, west?
Northeast.
I guess that's, yeah, northeast.
Well, just make it a, I make a motion that they expand, if they want to expand their house, they do it in the opposite direction of the drain.
Yes, that's what it is.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay.
You're good
You're
to go.
set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Candace belongs back to you.
Are you going to get a hold of the,
Plan Commission.
no, it wouldn't be Plan Commission, it's going to be,
Janet,
yeah, the,
I can send something to
Do we
Janet.
need to do anything further after this?
Building Department.
he'll get with the building department and tell them that we approved this, so
Excellent.
you guys, then you got to go through them for everything else then.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President, please reposition your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Webster Ditch, George Ladani tree removal update. He's not here, so I guess we'll just, unless you want to say anything, we'll just, it looks good, and we'll go from there. Water's flowing, so.
Matter's closed, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And hey, you did a great job out there too, by the way.
There's your man. See ya.
Thank you. Monthly reports, Hudson is not here.
Well, Georgette sent me her report, if I could read it. It's very brief. It shouldn't
Okay.
take long. Okay, lake level information, the lake is measuring around within, well, she didn't write down how many inches below the weir. So, she says within inches below the weir. They're still quite low for the season. The drain gate continues to be closed. The LAR grants, a grant for invasive weed treatment was awarded. Nothing was awarded for a dredge plan. We'll reapply for 2027 funding. On the sediment removal, the dredger has not removed his equipment. Restoration of the sediment sites will be completed once the muck has dried out. And securing more grants, the HLCA continues to work on more securing grants. Amazon Web Services will meet with us within the next month. Other businesses are being identified for support. That's it.
Brad?
Just a quick update, and since we're going to go into exec session, I'd recommend that this be on the agenda for the exec session as well, but we did get notice, or we haven't received notice yet, but a small claims has been filed regarding the White Ditch. Since that's pending litigation, we're not going to discuss it at a public meeting, but I would ask that when we schedule the exec session, in addition to talking about the Schurz Ditch and the Travis Ditch, we also add just pending litigation, so we can discuss that as well.
Okay. John?
I pretty much reported on the things that I was supposed to cover. One thing that occurred to me during today's meeting is there was mention of potential litigation regarding the Louis Spear issue. If that's the case, I'm likely to be summoned to make some testimony. For example, I didn't know about Thursday's excursion to examine the situation on his property. I will meet with him in the future, probably this week, to go over it. But if, for example, I have to make a statement in a courtroom, I'd like it to be more than I didn't know about it. Thank you.
Okay. Joint boards, I got nothing. I just wanted, okay, so I just got a text from Representative Pressel. He's got me in contact for the Spear, or for the Schwartz Ditch, through IDEM. Scott gave us somebody to get a hold of at DNR. So for the record, I just want everybody to know that we are trying to do something for the Schwartz ditch, Schurz ditch, sorry, that we're working on this and that we're trying to do something to get this accomplished, but I don't think it's going to be an easy task. So, claims, Vero, I think we already did this one, Vero Services. The next one is Vero Services, Lower Kankakee Tree Removal, 6,500. Motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
Second.
And you've been out and looked at all these, right?
Yeah, I've got some pictures. You want to see them on, Elmer did a great job on the Kankakee. It looks beautiful out there.
Precision Land, O'Hara Ditch, Rice Ditch, Tree Removal, 3,200. Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Second.
There's pictures on that one too. They did a great job out there too.
I've been past that one. They did a good job. There's $2,735 available in the engineering fund.
Do we have votes on either of those last two? I know they were moved and seconded. Could we just clarify and vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Sorry, sir. Would you like to come up and speak, Mr. Scott? No? You know what? Give us a quick, very, very quick update on what we got going on the Kankakee. Notice I said quick.
Yes. Scott Pelath, 346 West Johnson Road, Center Township. Thanks for having me here this morning. We have storms on the way, as you've noted. River levels have been very low for most of the winter, which means we have room in the channel to store extra water. But 2-3 inches of rain, the river comes up very, very quickly. I'm also concerned about the number of trees that can come down in high winds. That ordinarily means a lot of maintenance and cleanup afterwards. But I'll let this panel know that we'll get right on that as those things transpire when safe work conditions permit. A couple major projects for 2026, because I like to talk prospectively. First is removal of State Line Bridge at the Indiana-Illinois state line. That's a major artery clog for the entire Kankakee watershed. It traps every stray log from Indiana. They blow through when the river comes down, but you can't take them out during the flood event. So we're going to take that bridge down and stack it up for somebody else to enjoy elsewhere at some point. We're also working on, and this is good news, reconfiguring the water control structures at the Kankakee Fish and Wildlife Area. This is very important for LaPorte County farmers upstream of the game preserve, because the way these water control structures were built back in the 80s, they divert water from the Yellow River when the Yellow River is not at flood stage and move it into the Kankakee River when the Kankakee River may be at flood stage. And then the water enters at perpendicular momentum to the river. It slows down the velocity upstream of there. So we're planning to raise that spillway, notch one of the cross levees so water moves parallel with the rivers instead of perpendicular. I just got approval on the plan yesterday at 4 o'clock from DNR, so I'm very happy about that. We're also going to repurpose a Yellow River island and continue with some major bank repairs up and down the Kankakee, along with the usual maintenance that we're doing. So happy about the work being done. The good news is that it never, 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 ever ends. So
I'd like to thank you, though, because the work that you've done on the Kankakee River, it really shows that it's made vast improvements. So we really do appreciate that, because it really helps us on the drainage board.
Thank you, Commissioner. It means a lot. And I also want to give special thanks to Dick Welsh, who is your representative on the commission. He's a great partner and a good friend and a strong advocate for the county. You couldn't do any better with your appointment there. And also special thanks to Chairman Mitzner and our surveyor for being members of our technical committee. We just did a lot of good work on our flood response plan a couple weeks ago. So.
Well, thank you.
And I had a good discussion out here with the previous issues, so
Okay.
glad I was here today.
That's why I asked you to come.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you
Thank
like to mention the meeting upcoming in
Oh,
LaPorte?
yeah, I was going to say that.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday, we have a commission meeting. That's for our Phase 4 of our Yellow River Bank reconstruction select contractors.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Scott. No other public comment?
Can I say a couple things before we?
Why, of course.
These are two things that weren't added to the agenda, but the Slocum ditch, the beaver dams down there, I drove by, and Jeff, you've been by, they've done a nice
Oh, I have
job.
to report on that, I forgot.
Done a nice job of cleaning that up. There's a couple pictures of it there. And the other thing I want to mention is to thank Connie and the Highway Department for the O'Hara Rice tree removal on 1000 South. They got out there and did a fantastic job. I got a before and after picture of that and show what a nice job they did out there. Just want to thank Connie and the Highway Department.
You know, and I gotta say, you know, a lot of times we bring those issues up to these meetings, and, you know, now that we're working so nicely together, we get the information and we make sure that we're getting it done right away, so sometimes we're not bringing those issues to the meetings. But kudos to our highway department, because they really do a good job at helping out a lot of different departments.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot better communication between Charity and Aaron and everybody with the drainage board, and we want to thank them for that. And then another thing I wanted to bring up, that Slocum ditch, and I forgot about it, but I just want to say that that's where a couple farmers working together down there did a great job on getting that done, and they're moving right along on that, so kudos to them. So our next meeting will be April 14th at 8:30 in this room. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.